So we're not walking there. Yes, bo girls ba senang maitseo ba tshwanang le dough e sa dubegeng or dough e floppileng or a puff pastry comes out o zama wetsa puff pastry ka botoro e seng sense or sa kenye mo fridging ebe ha we kenya mo hara oven ebe nja fela e ben ka ke chippies. Yeah, because it doesn't beef up, it doesn't puff up, it doesn't become airy like real puff pastry. Kilo na mo maitseo a lona a tshwana le puff pastry eo ya ampor. And nna ko a gotlisa tshwantse ke lo apaka like shelves on a bookshelf, yeah, alphabetical order and also in ascending order of the textbook, girth, weight, like labeling system and Jeffaladi highlighter that makes a whole bunch of sense. Kilo khutlisa maitseo a lona jwalo go a file in alphabetical order, in chronological order and in ascending order from tallest to shortest or shortest to tallest, or descending order, tallest to shortest. And then I'm going to put it in a box. A very tight, neatly secured safe or aska escape ever again. Kilo is a combination ya di permutation is 20,000 hore o ska khona go thola and an avenue of escape for maitseo a hang hore aska tswa out of that safe go the permutation, the driver's license tsa mo South Africa, the permutation tsa gale tsa Transvaal. Remember those number plates the yellow tsa T instead of tsa GP. Yeah, go it's a combination ya safe ya maitseo a lona, the permutation tsa di driver's license tsa Transvaal tsa gale. Any kind of ability to recall. There will be no mnemonic cues. GP Gauteng province. GP Gauteng province. Yale khopotsa abuti ke mo ka number plate ya GP go morago. Yale khopotsa gore maybe you can try and see or if you can memorize all the Gauteng province number plates in these streets. Maybe you can find the combination. Nah, it's so hard to find combination ya thing that it literally lends its whole order from the number plate tsa Transvaal tsa apartheid. Le tlo tseba hore ke mang go le reinstalla maitseo mamela jaaka ga nna ke reinstalla my mini twist go le reinstalla maitseo, because at this present juncture ntwele yetsang it's not gonna give. Oh guys, bonang akichiloka white cast sunscreen this time loibona because of the fact that Haka application makeup le make le sure resistance khana di lashes tsa bad wing tse fofang o itsekeng tse fofang ka re king kilose a ke nata ba le lona mo lifeng le ntse sure ke ska bara makeup ka jeko, and I'm just like yazen zinjandini mina mengifuna plastic surgery. Yeah, I wanted inko enja because I didn't like my broad black nose. Makeup Kim Kardashian afika akamuka out of wherever. Wayenza ama contour. Wa introduce a contour that gives you nkonyana ele ya go ba nero. Ka ikra mo CapCut application e jwanong le shabane lengo ya ka e phare. Because haga apply makeup e patang nkoyaka eng borang mara nkoyaka I've learned to respect and appreciate it because making sure na I can't go under the knife ke lo etsa rhinoplasty. So bushelo ba lona bong patile mo mokoting, making sure we're OC in the spirit of vanity. Angutla sisters in the spirit of vanity would have, if it only get a miracle, if nigga them sebetsi ngebe by now since ke na le 40 ngebe ke tumpile di botox nyana tsa mo matlhong di filara ko kae a ke tsebe marameng. Like I don't know, I would have done all that. I would have like from probably the age of 35 I probably would have already started to invest in like pumping my face with like funny fluids. I would have done that. I probably would have done it even as a Christian woman. I would have done it. From the age of 29, that's when I lost everything and I had yet to experiment with any kind of cosmetic surgery. And And so now I have had to come up with like other ways, you know, to deal. It basically does, you know what, I think I am proof of the fact that it wasn't broken, y'all try to fix it. Like what God did in us, natural aging far outweighs in its glory what do you call this fake stuff that people be doing to themselves. I don't deny that I would have done it. I probably would have. I wanted a rhinoplasty, and I also wanted, well, I mean, rhinoplasty, that's all that I wanted. But I probably, as the years progress, in order to deal with my dark circles, the hollowing of whatever, I would have probably gone and done a whole bunch of procedures that would have made me look like a freak accident at the age of 60, like Madonna. Y'all know how she be looking like not human? Yeah, that's what's good. I would have looked really weird, like puffy, like cushiony and whatnot, just in the interest of preserving ubuso bam. So thank God for poverty, because poverty has made me realize that at the age of 40 and then maybe at 50, well, I won't get to 50, we're going in the rapture, but nonetheless I am able to maintain a very natural looking face, the face that I was born with. And it's obvious that this here is my nose, because a woman that's done a rhinoplasty, a black woman, white women not so much, you don't tend to see them so easily, but black rhinoplasties, look at Janet Jackson, even Connie Ferguson, this is not the nose that you were born with, right? And I'm glad that I don't have an obviously plastic face, because I would have gotten an obviously plastic face. Now let's look at the extreme case of Kangin Bao. I don't, yeah, and obviously plastic face, and it's not more glorious. I don't know why women don't look at the examples of former women that have come and gone, that have invested in a whole chunk of so what is this, plastic surgery to see this thing does not end well, because it literally never ever ends well. But anyway, you made sure that I can't do any of that. So however, a lot of young women are my age. You are what, like 40, 45, maybe 50, maybe 35, maybe 30, maybe whatever, you get my point. And from as early as 25, you get told Uguti, there's a depletion of retinol all up in your, not retinol, collagen all up in your growth. Yeah, basically that which keeps you looking nice and young. And so women are now super crazy obsessed with youth. They are super crazy obsessed with youth when they don't have to be, from such early ages, which is why Gen Zs have got like a violent obsession now with anti-aging, what have you, to a point where they're puffing up their faces with all different kinds of things so young. Like they're so young, they're still so young, and they're doing stuff that we were not even doing when we were still on the come up, because we were yet to get introduced to such a vain society. So I mean, if Gen Zs are so experimental with anti-aging anything at all, how much more then are millennials, how much more are xennials, how much more are generation X's, then all up in that situation. So some of y'all women are my age, you are 40, you are 39, you are 35, you are 45, I'm sorry for the wind, you are basically young. Well, not young, sorry, but not that young. You're young but not that young, and you have by now done fillers, you've done injections, you've done maybe even actual under the knife, like hard knock, like, you know, like little ping 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 panel beating on your faces. You have done a Kangin Bao, you have done rhinoplasties, lip injections, fillers, neck surgeries to eradicate turkey neck or whatever. You've done a whole bunch of stuff, and with all of that panel beating that you did, I somehow, having obviously not done anything of that nature because of the fact that I couldn't, me and Amali, I've been poor this entire time. Yeah, you are hurting the living daylights out of me because I have been preserved. I've been preserved in spite of an inability to do anything for myself. I've been preserved miraculously, frankly, and I do believe that is a combination of godliness alongside just not messing nobusobako. Our parents didn't. My mom didn't do anything to herself, and she still looks relatively decent at 60, what, like 6? She still looks relatively decent at 66. So we've all been duped. So basically all things worked out together for my good. For them who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose, they worked out for me, in the sense that if, despite being a Christian, if I had not lost my job, by now, by 40, I would have most definitely done something cosmetically for myself, to myself. Not only that, I would have had children, right? And so therefore whatever comes with pregnancy, if at all I had gotten, like, if my skin had stretched out and caused loose skin because of pregnancy, not all women do deal with that. Some women bounce back, but if I had gotten that problem, and if I had also gotten an issue with stretch marks, I would have probably considered a surgical route to deal with it. All right, I haven't done anything of that nature. Everything of mine is still pretty much intact, and I'm intact despite having been set up for failure. I've been set up for disaster failure. Stress was apparently allegedly supposed to finish me off. Pain was supposed to put crow's feet, like you know those things, how's that, like when you laugh, ha 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 ha. They were supposed to put crow's feet, stress was supposed to put crow's feet on me alongside maybe 11s, deep laugh lines, and the chubaba, like just a lot of issues that comes with a lot of cortisol just being produced in the body. And that has not happened with me because of God. I think it's God, I think it's genes, I'm sorry for the wind, I think it's genetics, God, holiness, and the fact that there was an actual strategy to sap out, to drink as with a straw my glory. And so God was like, I'm not going to give that to them. You can't have your bread buttered on both sides. You can't take away Karabo's everything and then nimshia on top of that. Gray. My hair is not graying because my mom's hair did not gray. Like right now, her hair is still largely black, and she's only got one or two, like you can count them with your hair on your one hand, how many gray hairs she has on her head. She's 66. So genetically, I'm not supposed to gray for a very long time, and even by the time I start graying, it's not all gonna just attack me in one sitting. Do you understand what I'm saying? My mom only started graying in her late 50s, maybe even 60s, y'all, because she's 66 now. And you have to come close to the gray hairs, but then largely or black, all of it. That's what's good. Yeah. So a combination, like I said, of genes and whatnot, and alongside godliness, the Lord protected me from you. God protected me. Now what do you call this? Despite not having been able to do anything for myself, despite having not been able to get a rhinoplasty or any other kind of cosmetic procedure, God preserved me. I mean, look, did you notice I'm wearing two different earrings? I'm only noticing it now. I mean, I did do it deliberately, but I was just so heated up earlier that I didn't even introduce my lopsided earrings. Yeah, no, God preserved me. And so now my thing is with that is, why would you want to do that? But then again, who cares? Like literally, who cares? Like literally nobody cares. Nobody cares why you are doing what you're doing, why you're maintained in that crazy. Nobody cares, because that's just the human heart. It is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? People are evil. Humanity is evil, and so there's no end to what they can do. They just wax worse. They just get worse and worse and worse. So umfazi that you stole everything away from, now you want to steal my face. Like I've gotten so many curses coming from men and women, especially women, however, cursing face curses, aging curses overnight, attempt to gray my hair overnight. Like, who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are? You seriously think you can wave the stuff that is your sorcery and you can just achieve anything in the life of a person? Why? Like I said, all those who are trying to get my hair to have grace, get it 40. My mom is 66, and if only when you are super close to her can you count on your one hand the gray strands, or otherwise jet black. And the first gray probably popped out likely about 4 or 5 years ago. So I don't understand why you think you can also alter a person's genetics using witchcraft. It's like thinking that you can do a rhinoplasty and that actually alter the genetic makeup of your nose, your actual birth nose. No, you will have children and these kids will basically tell tales with what they've inherited from you of what your nose actually used to look like before. You can't change your genes with surgery. You can only change your own phenotypical appearance on the outside. So just like with surgery, you cannot use all that sorcery to change a person's genetic makeup. You cannot use how the Lord is using that person. You can't change it. You can't change what God is doing in that person's life. Like you have leaned on this devil until such time that you have done such ridiculous spells that you are trying to alter a person's genetic makeup. Like, Papa, no, nawaka, by the way. Weight gain. Those of you who want me to gain 10 kilos, I had a dream the other day of some woman trying to get me to gain 10 kilograms overnight. That's my weight, more or less. Yeah, okay, so you're looking at my toes, my very hard-knocked toenails that have got a whole bunch of crazy, like, long going down for them. Because what's the point? I don't chop my toenails like Nandaba, okay? But that's my size. I really can't show you properly. I can't show you properly. Not unless I find somewhere to put this phone down. Actually, there's a little electricity box thing over there that I want to put my phone on and just move back at a little bit of a distance. Hulibonta my size. Okay. It's not really an electricity box. It was. I don't know what it is now. I don't know what you saw. That's where I put my phone. Anyway, yeah, that's my size. Alright. I am not going to gain weight from here because no woman in my family has ever gained weight from being slender unless they fell pregnant. My mom is a hefty lady. She's big, and she started gaining, like, after having me and my older sister, she was slightly bigger than me. Okay, and it was only upon having my little sister in her 40s that she then became the big mama that she is today. So essentially, pregnancy is congruent to weight gain, or spreading, or becoming a big mama alongside lifestyle. Like, if you choose to let yourself go, then you will get fat. It's not in my genes for me to gain 10 kilograms overnight. I have stopped working out for months now. Okay, it appears like 2 or 3 months since I guess I had Jimmy. Do you understand what I'm saying? 2 or 3 months since I guess I had Jimmy. And yet I have not gained much, like maybe 2 kilograms, really, very slowly. And even then, it maybe likely is aided along by the fact that I don't have the luxury diet that I would love to have. There's only one time in my life when I was gaining a ridiculous amount of weight, and even then it was still kind of gradual, and it was when I was on the pill, Diane 35. But after getting off Diane, my weight bounced back again without me going on diet. So it doesn't even have anything to do with iterative fasting. I'm always fasting. That thing is a fact, but that's not the reason why my weight is kept off. It's kept off because that's my genes. Until such time that I become somebody's mom, and maybe a couple of somebody's 3 or 4 children, until such time that I have abantwana, I will never be a big mama like my mom. I will never. So I will, like, my older sister doesn't have children. She's 2 years older than me, and like, weight does not encroach on us until we've had children. So I mean, like, I don't even know. Witchcraft cannot alter genetics. Okay, Buloyi cannot alter genetics, no matter how hard you try. Witchcraft does not have power to alter genetics. So lona ba busy to age overnight. I don't know where you're getting that from. It probably doesn't work, but nonetheless you try to put gray hairs on people's hairs overnight. If at all, their mothers, grandfathers, like uncles, everybody only popped their first gray at the age of 52, and you are trying to bring grays on a 40-year-old woman, a 35-year-old woman. You're not gonna succeed. Like, I don't know why you think that this stuff of yours can be used for just about anything. Also, to try and make a person gain weight overnight, unless this person is after eating 10 McDonald's burgers for breakfast, each, like, for breakfast, lunch and dinner, 10 meals, and they are sedentary, going absolutely nowhere, just sitting, and they have got a genetic predisposition towards obesity. Literally, listen, this person is not going to gain weight. If they have got a genetic predisposition for skinny, if they've got a high metabolism naturally, even in their latter years, like even when they're older, you are not going to make them fat. You are not. No matter how hard you try, it's their genes. Like witchcraft cannot just give you whatever you want, but you use it. Anyway, whatever. I've done what I've said. I've said what I needed to say. I've basically shared my heart's content. I've gotten out what needed to be gotten out, what needed to be taken out. And I'm done, Lana. I didn't even want to be here for like 10 years. I just wanted to let you know that all of your satanic rituals to try and kill me, women, there is only so much that you can achieve in the life of a saint. There is only so much that you can achieve in the life of a child of God. You cannot just bombard me, Lily 20, and imagine that because Lily 20, this time I'm really gonna fall. The Lord will only allow so much to come my way. While I might be beleaguered on all sides, and while indeed it might be true that I am not getting anywhere, my content, I keep on uploading it and I'm not moving left or right, while that might indeed be true, bottom line is the how much depression you actually invest in my bones to cause me to commit suicide, that is solely dependent on God, and He will not let me be barraged no matter how many of you there are that come at me. Mara, you will keep trying. So all the best, because really the only people here that are on their way out are you. Gelona that are dying, yini that are about to be sacrificed by your own human sacrifice rituals. You are on your way out, not me. Don't say I did not warn you. I did not want to do a video today, Mara, the barrage of a whole chunk of women in a seance. I was just saying, women, God is not going to give you my depression. He's not going to give you my melancholy, because He has only given it to these evil men, and even then only so that I can come and explain how witchcraft operates, following which I'm then given relief. The baton to kill me or attempt, the permission to try and kill me only belongs to men. It can only be a man. If I decide to capitulate to temptation and take myself out, I will be capitulating rather to a spell cast by a man. It will not be from a woman. That's not what God has given you. The Lord has not given that to women. It is not supposed to go out like that. That's His linear regression constraint set. So continue. And die collateral damage vibes from a death that would have belonged to a Jabu or a Sizwe or a Temba. Some bugger out here in these streets that all along the Lord has been targeting Vele for death, because He has put 20 other women in the ground and 7 other men. Mutoke terrorist already. And so God made him look at me so that God could finish him off with the touching of God's anointed. So when I'm in the harm's way of afflicting a saint, that way, when God was actually targeting Ujabu Vele or Utemba Vele or Uspusiso Vele, because Uspusiso has been, like I said, a terrorist, an ongoing terrorist. So so that God can just knock him out. For you to put yourself in that line of fire over nothing but Mona, God preserved me in spite of me not having done surgery or whatnot. That's not going to do anything for you. That is like proper. You are only going to put yourself in a position to be knocked out. The way I told you, that cousin of mine, she's like a vestigial organ. And I spoke about how when you're vestigial, when you're not that important, when you're not in the grander scheme of things, something that has been set apart by God to be the wicked for the day of the people of God's trouble, the Lord just simply takes people that are that arrogant, putting themselves in a position to be someone else, or to be the thorn in a Christian's flesh when that's not supposed to be the case. While it is not God's first prize that you should just die, He will knock you out because you are not supposed to be that thing. You are not supposed to be that kind of affliction on a saint. Something else, not that. Women, whatever, you will be left to live because your spells won't work. But the moment you graduate over into this, you're out. I warned you. A whole chunk of you are gonna die for no other reason than the fact that you're doing the wrong spells. You are afflicting a daughter of God the wrong way. You are hating on me for highlighting issues that you have got that I've avoided. Like lama totala that keep on indeed making abafazi ama dominoes dropping easily. They just sit on our chest and let us breathe our last. Inside concrete. Barapata mohara plastering kontlu. Borba di batswadi ba rona ba ska re thola. Ba ska identify mmele ya rena. Bana bao. Taba ori da ba thusa. Taba ya hore le nna ke ba avoidile enough for me to live to see the age of 40. Taba ya hore you are helping those kinds of men. Yes, like it, but Litusa, the very men that made out of you whatever you are today. I'm sorry, this world that you have created is unsustainable. You are planning lifu lamutu that is rather going to hear of mafu alona. Le plana lifu lamutu otlo utwanka mafu alona. I'm like the Bible says in Psalm 91. Only with your eyes will you look on and see the recompense of the wicked. Only with your eyes will you see. Essentially, you're gonna get the phone call and you're gonna hear etc. I'm only gonna get the phone call about my cousins. I'm only gonna get the phone call about my former best friend. I'm only gonna get the phone call about bonke labantu in the news media, the ones bailing the celebrity. I'm only going to turn on YouTube, click on a video, and find out Uti Uspanban Ushonile, Uspanban Ushonile, Uspanban Ushonile. Only with my eyes am I going to see the recompense of the wicked. You're not going to take me out like that. Is not decreed to happen at the hands, if it does happen, of women. It's going to happen only at the hands of men, and even then, only if I don't resist the devil. Because at the end of the day, the devil, when he Archer is poking and prodding away at Job through his wife by saying to Job, will you still maintain your integrity? Why don't you just curse God and die? The wife is saying commit suicide. If Job had capitulated, he would have failed the test, and so the guy would have died, even though the Lord said that you can't kill him. You can't kill him, but you can inspire him to end his own life. So if Job had not passed that test, he would then be what we call umuntu that did not succeed to conquer. They were not more than a conqueror. He was not more than a conqueror. He did not do what he needed to do in order to overcome the devil, that he might flee from him. He did not resist the devil. So it's not impossible that I would die. That's what I'm trying to get at. It can happen in the suicide by Funayo, insofar as I respond to Job's wife's derision. Will you still maintain your integrity? Why don't you just curse God and die? Insofar as I respond to Job's wife's derision with fine, and then I give up, throw in the towel, kick a bucket, and then make a decision not to go and enter eternity on my own terms, because I don't want to fight anymore. If I quit, I can indeed die. But the Lord has told me that I'm not going to die a suicide death or a capitulating, quitting death. I'm going in the rapture. With the Lord having told me that, I therefore hold on to the day of the rapture. I hold on to waiting for me to make like Naaman at the River Jordan, get dunked 7 times, and come out the other side looking like a baby. I am just waiting for the rapture. That's what I'm saying, because God showed me that I'm going to get collected that way, that I'm going to leave in a very scary release. I could, of course, in the run-up to, decide to kill myself, because decide to not believe that which is a prophecy that God gave me about how I'm leaving this earth. I can make a decision to not believe what I've been shown, but I am like Job. I rather respond to people telling me, will you still maintain your integrity? Why don't you just curse God and die? I respond to them by saying, must I only praise God in good times and not in bad? Woman, you are evil, get behind me. And in all that he does, Job does not sin. So what needs to be comprehended right now is that my reaction to dispel Star Lona is inspired by further prophecy given me by God. You might try to inspire depression in me, but there's only so much that God will allow to come on my chest, and not much more. And when then you put much more on me, it's not going to sit. It's not going to lodge. But you who are trying to do that are going to be knocked out by your own rituals. That's ever going to succeed to bring even one slight sliver of melancholy in my bones through a death spell. Only men are allowed to do that. Only men are allowed to ask the question, will you still maintain your integrity? Why don't you just curse God and die? Only men. Women, it's not your job. It is not your job. Only men are given the allowance to tempt me to the point of trying to kill myself. Not women. So what I'm trying to get at is that Musadi Basadi, there isn't a single one of you that can ever make me truly sad or depressed or despaired. Only men. The guy wako America hakala who light kerese kiafrazwa because he has made me very macabre before. My ex-boyfriend is a ritual kiafrazwa because there is potential for it to catch some kind of fire. A lot of the guys, like there's a whole bunch of men that I also don't know. When they're at it, kiafrazwa, and I freak out and I wait to see if I'm going to end up miserable. Sometimes, however, I don't end up miserable. However, when I do end up miserable, I fight. I trudge along, I trudge through, and I'm given a lantern in this darkness to navigate until I'm on the other side, until I pierce through. So ever since that video that I did speaking about foreboding, melancholy, wada, etc., there have been so many spells cast on me by Masadi, trying to knock me over because they've told themselves that, these women have told themselves that it's only a matter of time before we can just frustrate her. So that sense of macabre that she felt that day, if we can just pile it on like to the nth degree, like 20 times, 40 times, 50 times, if we can just make a lot of sorrow sit on her in one fell sweep, then she will go. Because the way that Nafila thing that day, we could tell it was very extreme. So basically, if we can ramp it up, if we can increase the heat, then she will die. And these spells have been done by Basadi. They have imagined that they can gather bali 2, bali 3, bali 10, bali 20, bali 50, and then finally get lotswa. So a seance has been done by women. Ladies, my death is never ever going to be in your hands. It'll never be causally connected to you. If at all I do capitulate to a satanic spell of death, it'll always be some guy that did it. Because they're the ones that are being judged for all these satanic death rituals they keep doing on women, on all of South Africa. South Africa, they're responsible for gender-based violence. All this basically exiting of women from the earth too soon. And that's how God is keeping it. So Luna, that are inventing a new way of sinning, no, God is not going to give you that. So that's your best shot, frankly, at me. Tips and hints. Your best shot is through men. You are not going to succeed to do it in your own capacity. It'll flop. I will just come the next day, fresh, happy, grande, pusha, sad. And you will wonder why it's because you're not supposed to be the one to knock me out. You're not the one given permission to knock me out. Only men. And I wreak havoc in their lives, and I come and I conquer every single time. Bangravas. God is not going to put that pile on my body over and above it from the cherry to Tsiriani. The douchebag, the jerk of note. And these jerks have made you little homicidal creeps. But that does not mean that you are able, to put me at your mercy. Halong paya on a chopping block and knock me out. So I'm not that way. Not for you. So all the best, Basadi, in your continued malady, malarkey, and insanity. This is a warning message. If you don't repent here, bye. Hali fitla kodi helenge shem, I will have warned you. Hali fitla, I will have warned you. I told you there's a woman on at 34 that passed away in 29 October. She was just at 34. She was another one on Azama, something very hectic on me, and God knocked her out. She was only 34. So basadi towe mafua lona tlotlitswa ke tabaka le batla tlisa lefulaka. Carry on ka ditlhare tsa lona tse work tse shello tsa go zama gong tlosa botle sentse ke le monyane or gong tlosa gong nontsha. Basically all this other shallow women witchcraft, carry on with that. That's the only way that you're gonna perhaps live to see the tribulation. Mara, if you continue on ka di death spells, you're not gonna enter. Halito, like wait December is too far. Don't say I didn't warn you. I'm signing out in Christ's name, K. Peace.